today's edition of the Daily Dose, we're going to talk about sometimes it's necessary. See, a lot of times, in order for you to understand where you're going, you got to know where you've been. You got to understand sometimes that some hurts are necessary. Some betrayals are necessary. Some disappointments are necessary. We don't see it that way because we don't understand that in the betrayal, it was pushing us deeper into our destiny. In the hurt, it was pushing us deeper into our destiny. So sometimes some things that we go through is necessary. It becomes the catalyst. It becomes the fire in your burner. It becomes a force that should push you into your destiny. Judas told the soldiers, the one that I kiss is him. When he betrayed Jesus, he betrayed him with a kiss. He made it known that he was close enough to him to kiss him. He was in his entourage. He had walked with him the full 3.5 years. He was the treasurer. He was someone that should have been close to him, but he was the one that betrayed him. And this betrayal is what pushed Jesus to the cross. Some betrayals are necessary. Some people are not going to walk with you. You got to understand that everybody is not going to go where you're going. Everybody is not going to see your vision. But when you can stand up and understand what position that individual took in your life, you can press on into where you need to go. Individuals, circumstances, situations will try you. Individuals, circumstances, situations should push you. Am I saying every individual will do this? Will they intend to do this? No, they will not. But as Judas, until the Lord said, that which thou doest, do it quickly, and Satan entered him, he did not understand the process of what he was doing. But betrayals sometimes are necessary, and it will be mostly the ones that are closest to you, because someone away from you cannot have the effect that the enemy would like to have upon you. It has to be someone close. David, in the midst of battle, in the midst of war, he had the very same instance go on with him in Psalm 55. David said, for if it was not an enemy that reproached me, I could have borne it. See, an enemy cannot push you to that distance. The betrayal of an enemy will not affect you. Only the betrayal of someone that's close unto you. He said, neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me. It's the 12th verse of Psalm 55. Because David made it known that someone that hated me could not affect me in this way. It had to be someone close to me. He said, then I would have hid myself. See, your enemies, you have a watchful eye on your enemies, so therefore you know how to avoid certain pitfalls. You know how to avoid certain holes. But when it's someone close to you, it kind of sneaks up on you and you are not really prepared for it to the magnitude of what it may be. David said in verse 13, but it was you, a man, mine equal, my guide, and mine acquaintance. David said it was someone close to me. Now, am I saying that individuals may intend on doing it? Because we must begin to recognize the play of the prince of the power of the air. We must recognize the play of the enemy. We must recognize the veil of the mind, that the enemy takes his time and plants certain seeds and he waters them. And if the individual does not bring every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ, the enemy will use that seed and continue to fertilize that seed, and it will grow. Now, the individual may come back unto their senses, but the damage will be already done. So therefore, there's a rebuilding process now. But the betrayal had already happened. When you find yourself in a position that you are giving all, and you have a vision, you have a purpose, you have a plan, and you are beginning to show forth fruit into that plan, where the enemy sees that this one right here, I have to try my all to stop. Because the enemy will see things within you that you may not see within yourself. So he began to devise a plan. Why do you think that Herod set a decree out to kill all the babies under 2 years of age, just to get at Jesus? Because the enemy knew that this was the plan. This was the plan of salvation. He knew what was coming before it came. The enemy knows what's on your life, and he knows what's coming. So therefore, he will send forth the betrayal to try and take you down. David said, but it was you, a man, my equal, my God, my acquaintance. We took sweet counsel together and walked into the house of God in company. David made it known that we were walking together. But what happened? We took sweet counsel in the house of God. But what happened? What I want to begin to take us into in this new year is to go into a place where we will begin to talk about some things that are not being talked about. We are going to step out of the norm, and I'm going to make you realize certain nuggets, certain points, like betrayal sometimes is necessary when you have destiny upon your life. When God is taking you somewhere. I'm talking about to those who are pressing in. Paul said, but I keep under my body and I bring it into subjection, lest when I have preached unto others, I myself would be disqualified or become a castaway. You got to know that sometimes betrayal is necessary. Sometimes people are going to turn. Sometimes people not going to see. And you got to realize that I got to keep pressing no matter what. What God is doing today is he's going to take us into new dimensions. Because a lot of times you allow the betrayal to destroy you because it came so close. It hit so close to home. It was so close to you that it takes you out. But no, we're not going to let it take us out. You're going to turn this into fuel. You're going to fan the flame of destiny with it. And you're going to press on to a higher mark. Because when you begin to realize some things that I went through, I had to go through. David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. The only way that David could determine that God was with him was to walk through the valley, to walk through a place of the shadow of death. The only way Jesus could come out with power was he had to go in the wilderness. Some of you are in your wilderness situations. Some of you don't know how you're going to pay your next bill. Some of you don't know how you're going to feed your kids. Some of you don't know how you're going to pay your rent. Some of you feel like your dreams are dying. You feel like you're not going anywhere. But what I'm telling you right now is you are in an incubator right now. You in a holding place right now, and you are being spoon-fed life. God is building something on the inside of you that when he breaks it out, it will not be able to be contained anymore. Behold, former things have come to pass, and new things do I declare. And before they spring forth, I'm telling you of them. God says, I will make a way in the wilderness. He says, I will set the crooked places straight. He says, I will restore unto you the years that the palmer worm and the cankerworm have destroyed. In the spirit, in the realm of the heavenlies, you got to know how to go back into that place where the enemy tried to destroy you, and you got to allow God to restore right there. And when he restores right there, you will be like the children of Israel approaching the Red Sea when Moses told him, this enemy that you see today, you will see no more. I prophesy today that things are going to change. I prophesy today that God is going to open up some more avenues. I prophesy today that your mind is being renewed by the Spirit of God and the understanding is being enlightened. Sometimes it's necessary. Don't let the betrayal destroy you. Don't let the hurt harm you. Don't let the disappointment deem you for failure. Sometimes it's necessary. If you can see the enemy and what he's trying to do, you can move him out of the way, and then the avenue will open up as to what God is really doing. Where are you going? What are you going to do with it? Because sometimes it's necessary.
Said it's all about